So now you can see how I'm going to basically attach it. So that box will go between them and they'll reinforce back into it, so that stone can't fall forwards or backwards. It can only move literally like horizontal. In fact, I think I've drilled the bars so they're all at slight angles, so that way there is no one movement that it can make and get itself free without pinching somewhere or other. So that should sit there safely, because everything underneath here, it's all been dug over time, everything will move. It just will. There's nothing I can do about that. The only thing that's still solid is the base of that hole, and even that I've had to build up a little bit, so I can't trust anything around here, and that big stone going in there is going to destroy it. So this way, using this essentially foundation layer I've created with the stone pile, I can stop it, the chance of it moving quite a lot, because there's less movement in amongst all them stones than there is amongst all of that soil. So as you can see, stone sits really quite nicely, covers the box and everything like that. The box needs leveling off a little bit, but I have got a small problem. Tried to go really close to the edge of the stone when I first started drilling, so I've chipped a little bit here, so I had to go further in. Then that means the rebar sat right next to the container isn't going to sit into the concrete, so I'm going to have to get it and sort of bend it and then bending it there, and then it'll come out and be able to sit in the wall, so it's in line with this one. So I need to bend it a little bit, so I just have to dip up to the holding, get that done, and then we'll be ready to start building. So I've given Auntie a little separate extra pile, so these can have this trough. So cute. Need to give the water a top up. I'd almost forgotten how much fun it was to try and dig with chickens around. Yeah, while the water fills up, I'm just going to get a little bit of a hole dug. Oh, got so far along, just got called away on other business, but we're getting there. Don't realise how big a bath is until you try and dig a hole for it. So just setting these bits of bar in, you can see, to set the frame, and then there'll be I'll build a box inside there, and then there'll be concrete all the way up, and then just fasciated with stone and slate, and then either sandstone or slate top. But once again, we don't want to do too much of that planning things, that confuses things. There is a slight problem in that, because this is all of this stuff is just stuff that I have lying around. I've not gone out and bought anything, just reimagining and repurposing stuff that's kicking about. And this liner was disused from an old job, and it's probably got a hole in it somewhere. So really, I can't really set any of this in until I know exactly where the hole is and I've got it sorted. Plus, it started raining, so back to digging a hole. So, how do you go about emptying a hole that's got chickens in? These are questions I never thought I'd have to answer in my life, but you always find a solution if you need to. So this is where me being a little bit sad, and I'm just including this, but basically you've got 3 different types of worm, and the fact that I've still got that hole there means I've got one of the rarer types of worms, which is a really deep worms that only come up and feed occasionally. So that means I've got everything I need to generate a really, really good soil. I just got to hope these guys don't take them all out for me. Victorious I am. Yeah, it's worked. So I shut the gate when the geese were outside. They're now inside. They must have swam on through, and yeah, there's a little bit of feathers on there, so they have clearly been in and through. So I'm not as silly as I thought. Well, actually no, I've seen this work before, so I knew it was going to work. But yeah, I finally got it done. More to the point, because it needs leveling up. I don't want if you look, it's not quite perfect level. It's about a centimetre out over the length, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of adjusting, because I don't want the water coming in towards the shed and rotting the base, so it needs to tip that way. I've also put it so this side's a little bit easier for them to get in, because it's got a bit more of a slope so they can grip on it, whereas that side's a bit more vertical, because that way if they need to run in, swim in, quickly, they can get out a little bit easier. But yeah, let's have a look how the line is. Yeah, I think, does that work? Yeah, it'll drip in, just a bit of guttering off the end, and then we've got a self-filling ensuite accommodation for the geese and a safety cage. Brilliant. So that's day 80. It was good to get further along with the pond, but as I say, with the hole, there's a hole in. We think we know where it is, but let's just leave it in checks. Once that stone's in place, it is not going anywhere. With the weather closing in, I couldn't actually get it all finished off, which is slightly annoying, but at the same time, it's the weather. You can't do anything about it. But glad I've got the geese transport system in place to get them through the cage. That cage it's coming together now. It's got its shape, but it just looks a little bit shabby at the minute. It needs a load of tidying up. it's basically held together with cable ties, so we just need to replace all of that with wire to sort of last forever, basically. The wooden posts just need that little bit of straightening up and stuff like that. Just stuff that's really easy if there's two of you, because someone can hold it and the other one can tie it. But yeah, just figuring out a way of doing it, or yeah, on my own. But you always find a way. But yeah, I'll probably have a crack at that tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna sort of try and get my body clock sorted out, and then get my strimmer sorted, get the fence line sorted for around the field for the pigs, get a load of materials ordered and stuff like that for projects next week. What else? Possibly the sheep might be going over to Yelland because they're getting sheared on Sunday. Oh, yeah, that's good news. So we're gonna have some wool. So that, yeah, I'm possibly gonna be going over and seeing. Well, I'm hopefully gonna go over and see them get sheared. So there'll be footage of that. So that'll be quite cool. And yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what day 81's got to offer.